Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, yes. As I talk right now, it's just some few hours to December. And quite a good number of our fans here have brought my attention to an old video when William Ruto was campaigning for the presidency this year. Listen into this video.
Tumesema kabla ya Disemba mwaka huu, serikali hii ya Kenya Kwanza tutahakikisha kwamba kila Mkenya atakuwa na bima ya afya ya NHIF kabla ya Disemba mwaka huu. Every citizen.
That's William Ruto campaigning for the presidency this year. And he was promising Kenyans, and more so the hustlers, that before December, all Kenyans will be having NHIF. It's remaining just some few hours to December. And it's a fact and very clear that promise by William Ruto, he is not going to fulfill on the promise. In this video, I want us to dig deep into that story to see what it means politically. If you are watching us for the very first time, subscribe, give this video a like. Yes. Listening to that clip, you are seeing William Ruto is using a lot of energy convincing Kenyans that by December, everybody will be having NHIF. And I know some Kenyans took those words to mean exactly what William Ruto was saying. They thought and knew Ruto was going to fulfill on that promise. From the look of things, that is a promise William Ruto is not going to fulfill. So that's coming out clearly as one promise that has failed. It has backfired. Secondly, I'm seeing a William Ruto who actually is taking advantage of the political ignorance and naivety of Kenyans. That's something I've been saying here consistently. If you look in the 60 days, William Ruto has been the president, and this is a fact. If you take William Ruto's manifesto and you start looking at them one by one, you will be shocked that William Ruto has not kept or fulfilled on any single promise he made to Kenyans. But on the side of fulfilling his promises to the so-called leaders, he has done exceptionally well. He promised he was to give Musalia Mudavadi some positions within 2 weeks, and we saw he at least fulfilled that. On the side of his fellow leaders, the so-called dynasties, William Ruto has been very keen to make sure he fulfills on the promises. But if you look at the promises he made to the so-called Mamamboga, the ordinary Mwananchi, William Ruto has not kept or fulfilled on any. What does that show? William Ruto cares more about his political allies and fellow politicians at the expense of Mamamboga. And I'm saying that again because if you look at this government, William Ruto has added more positions in the government. And it's believed he has created those more positions to accommodate more of his political allies. And that's very dangerous and very unfortunate for the so-called Mamamboga. Because the Mamamboga will be taxed to sustain and maintain those new offices created by William Ruto's government. So it's a fact William Ruto's government cares more about the rich, the so-called dynasties, at the expense of Mama Mboga, the hustlers. So any leader who is actually using nice words to get votes from you, that leader most likely is just lying to you. If you look on how William Ruto campaigned, in fact, he made Kenyans feel that this is a government that is going to bring change, a government that is going to rule different from the way other governments have been ruling. And he used to term those governments dynasties. But looking at William Ruto's government and those governments he was terming dynasties, those governments were pro the people more than this government William Ruto said was for Mama Mboga and Boda Boda. Kenyans should learn a lesson here. If you go to the ballot to cast your votes, look at a leader's track record. If the leader is known not to be keeping promises, that leader will most definitely not even keep the new promises he's making. It is unfortunate that that was even clear before the elections, but some Kenyans never saw that. Some Kenyans never saw that. They agreed and allowed themselves to be cheated. And some voted for Ruto and his team thinking that they were going to bring them change. It's coming out that those were just lies. Now, William Ruto as the president, we are seeing now he is giving new promises. Just some few days ago, or rather weeks back, he was promising that by the end of his tenure, Kibra will not be a slum but an estate. In Baringo, he was promising to build 10,000 housing units. These are new promises William Ruto is making in his term, but not actually fulfilling on the promises he made when he was campaigning. So you can see William Ruto's plan here. He always wants to give people hope so that people cannot hold him accountable and responsible. He's a politician who is very smart in giving people hope. And I'm seeing William Ruto has started Kenya's psychology pretty well. Ruto knows that a good majority of Kenyans, they want hope. They want a leader who is actually giving them hope. And that's why William Ruto is giving that hope. But the truth of the matter, William Ruto is not a good leader when it comes to delivery. But he's very good in giving hopes. And that's exactly what he's doing as the president, giving new promises for Kenyans to forget about the old promises. As I conclude, listening to William Ruto and most of that clip, you are seeing that some Kenyans were cheering him up and clapping for him. And looking at William Ruto now as the president, he seems to be not bothered. In our earlier video, we dwelt more on the Hustlers Fund, where it has also been revealed and confirmed that some billionaires and millionaires are already set to benefit from the Hustlers Fund. And I didn't talk about Twiga Foods. If you look at Twiga Foods, the owners and those board of directors, those are not your ordinary Mama Mboga or Boda Boda. Those are well-off people in the society. Ruto's government has already promised to give Twiga Foods 300 million Kenya shillings. So you are seeing clearly again that this is a government that is pro the rich. It's not a government that can actually stand and defend the poor in the society. That also just a confirmation, if you look at it holistically, that William Ruto lied to this so-called Mama Mboga. He lied to Kenyans. William Ruto got power through falsehood and deceit. If the law was to be followed as it is, I personally believe William Ruto by now ought to have been impeached. He lied and cheated Kenyans. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. In case you have not so far subscribed, kindly subscribe, give this video a like. To our fans and subscribers here, I'm very much humble, very grateful for the kind of support you are giving me here. God bless you, God bless Kenya. Any other person who wants to support our channel, as usual, I've pinned my number on the comment section. Contact me through the number or feel free to channel your support to the number. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you.